What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, man. Back in these streets, back in these work streets, right quick. And I just wanted to drop a quick video. Once again, make sure you check out tomorrow. We'll be going live for our first Cowboys Uncensored podcast. Myself, producer G, we're back at it. Been since 2018, as I told y'all before, but we'll be back at it. Make sure you tune in that show, support it. As I said before, it's going to just be talking about real stuff. It's going to be uncensored. It's going to just be straight from the hip. You know what I mean? We just not going to try to play the games with it. Not going to try to sugarcoat it. Not try to, we're just going to see it for what it really is, and we're going to talk about it the way it really is. Instead of just always looking at the analytics side, we're going to look at the real side of it, and then we can talk about the analytics. So make sure you turn into that. That'll be 8 p.m. tomorrow. First show, Cowboys Uncensored, myself, producer G, back at it. We're going to talk a little bit about this tomorrow, but I just want to kind of tease you a little bit about it today. So basically it was just in my head about why does Dallas always lose games when they go into a big game and they're playing a team that, like, hey, they win this game, they can really put them over the top. And Dallas typically always seems to lose it. And then when they play a struggling team, just like I said with the Bears, they play them struggling teams who are in a rut, might be having a losing streak, team is struggling as a whole, coach might be struggling as a whole. They come against Dallas, they always seem to have the best game ever. And it's almost kind of sad because it happens from coach to coach to coach to coach. So I'm looking at it as one of the reasons why Dallas always loses these games is they're just an average team. Too many times they come into the year, Dallas got a talented roster. Dallas is going to be able to do this. They got talent. Dallas does have talent. But do they have the talent to beat these top teams, or do they have the talent to really rise above? And when I look at the talent, it's average. And when you have an average talent team, you're going to have average results. And that's what Dallas has been having, average results. I know they had the 12-4 seasons. They went to the playoffs, have talent. But is it the talent that's going to rise above when you're playing it in the crucial times? And I just don't think so. So I'm going to start with the offense. And I'm going to just go by the depth chart. So when I look at the starters, George Pickens, I'm going to say he's an above average talent. I'm not going to say he's elite because he hasn't consistently done it year in and year out. His talent, I believe, is elite, but he hasn't produced it year in and year out to say George Pickens is one of the elite receivers in the game. You say George Pickens has talent. He might be an above average receiver because of what he's done prior. So we'll put George Pickens as above average. CeeDee Lamb is elite. His numbers are elite. He's an elite player. He's been elite really since he came in the league, but really took it to the next level the last few years. So you definitely say CeeDee Lamb is elite. So you got George Pickens, who I believe is above average. CeeDee Lamb is elite. Jalen Tolbert is average to below average. I'm going to say below average because Jalen Tolbert doesn't really do anything special. He's not I'm not going to say a clutch player. I just feel like if you cut Jalen Tolbert right now, somebody will claim him. But would he do good? I don't know. I'd have to see the coaching because a lot of players leave Cowboys and they tend to do better at other programs or other teams. And I always wonder about that. Why do they leave Dallas and then all of a sudden they play at a different level? That's something to think about. But Jalen Tolbert, he is average to below average to me. Tyler Guyton is below average. I'm sorry, second year, he's still struggling, giving up sacks. I think he's done a little bit better. But if you look at him right now where he's at, you're going to have to say he's a below average tackle. Tyler Smith, I'm going to say he's elite. I think he's one of the best guards in the game. He just got paid like one, and I believe his way he steadily played each year, he's an elite talent. The center, Cooper Beebe, I feel like he's a above average talent. Only his second year, you see a lot of great things coming from him. Obviously, he's hurt right now, but I'm going to say he's above average. And then your other right guard, who's your rookie, and Tyler Booker, who's hurt as well. I'm going to say he's above average right now, average to above average. I mean, he's only 3 games into the season, but he's playing really good football, being the mauler, he's being physical, he's being those things. Terrence Steele, below average. Continues to still have those issues, getting overpowered, continually getting beat off the edge. Same thing's been going on for years. Even after we thought he was going to be better after the injury, still been the same player. Jake Ferguson, I know he got signed, and I like Jake. I'm happy he got his money, but he's an average talent. He doesn't have any breakaway speed. He had 13 catches for 82 yards. It's like he can catch them short passes, but they're never going anywhere. It's just like you're a catch monster, but are you really moving the chains? Are you really making a difference in that pass game? I just don't believe it. Dak Prescott is above average. I believe he's right there at elite, but I can't just put Dak in the elite company. I put him in the very good company, very good quarterback, can make plays, great in the pocket. But, as you saw in the game, one of the interceptions wasn't his fault with George Pickens, but another INT at the end of the game. I just feel like Dak is also hamstrung by the surroundings around him, but I'm going to say Dak is above average. Javonte Williams, I'm going to say he's an average talent. He's a good running back, playing very well, running the ball very well, averaging like 5 yards a carry, but he's just coming off an injury. He hasn't proved anything, so I'm going to say he's an average talent. And then Hunter Luepke, average. Hunter Luepke, you like to see him get more involved, but they haven't really done anything to really say, ooh, he is elite. So when you look across the board, you got a lot of average, you got a few above average, and then you got a few elites. You got CeeDee Lamb, elite. Tyler Smith, elite. I'm going to say that's it. And above average, you got Dak, you got George Pickens, you got some guys that are above. But when you look at the whole cusp of the team, it's an average offense. Okay? So that's where coaching is more important, to raise those guys up. Then when you go down to the defense, that's where you see where the talent, to me, or the consistency just falls off. Sam Williams, below average. He hasn't done anything. And I had high hopes for Sam Williams, but I feel like he's just an undisciplined player. I feel like he has a lot of athletic traits, but you keep on wondering, is he ever going to put it together? And this is the year that you thought he was going to break out. I know the season's still young, but we haven't seen too much of Sam Williams to feel like he's an elite talent, above average talent, or even average talent, because he hasn't shown anything since he's been there. He showed flashes, but flashes. So I'm going to have to say he's below average right now. Kenny Clark, I'm going to say he's above average. I'm not going to say Kenny Clark's elite. The elite defensive tackles, he might be on the cusp. He's definitely above average. Great run stopper, can rush the passer, great locker room guy. Osa Ogadazua is another above average talent. Not going to say he's elite. Got paid very well. He's a consistent player. Game in, game out, he's there. But you can't say Osa Ogadazua is elite. Can he take over games? No, I don't believe he can. But he's one of those good pieces. If you have really good players around him, his talent seems to show more. But if you had to put it all on him, I think that's where it struggles. And then when you look at your other end, and Dante Fowler, he's an average talent. Had the 10 sacks. He's a sack monster. But it seems like now that everything's put on him to make the plays, he said, hey, I feel disrespected in these streets. I'm a lot better than that. Well, 3 games in, you've been the starter, and we ain't ever heard nothing but from Dante Fowler Jr. So you're just an average talent to me. When I look at Jack Sanborn, average. I think you could cut him, he could go other places and play. I think he's an average talent. I think he has the talent and the mind to play otherwhere, but he's not going to be elite anywhere. He's not going to be above average anywhere. Kenneth Murray Jr., average. He's been already on a few teams already, third team already in his young career. Has a lot of athletic talent, but Kenneth Murray Jr., if you put him on another squad, is he going to make a difference? I don't think so. And then you have, those are your main guys, and then you go to the cornerback position. Trevin Diggs, he was elite. He's average now. Injuries have caught up with him. I don't know what his future is with Dallas any longer, to be honest with you. I don't even know if he's going to be with Dallas any longer after this. But I just feel like maybe a new change of scenery will be better for him, because I just don't see him being with Dallas long term now. And I think the Cowboys should try to get something for him while they can. Donovan Wilson, lower, we already done talked about that, below average. Malik Hooker, below average. If you cut both of them players in the offseason, they would have went somewhere and wouldn't have been a starter anywhere. And if they were playing, they wouldn't have made any kind of difference. They're below average players. I was hyped up when Malik came over here, but he was an average player. But I mean, I'm gonna say, I just feel like Malik Hooker and that combination is just not a good combo. Um, and then Kyrie Elam, below average. You traded for him. I had high hopes for him. Maybe he can turn around, but he got victimized in Buffalo. A lot of people said good riddance. A lot of people said there were other cornerbacks better than you, and why they got paid. And right now, it's been proven true that maybe Buffalo did make a mistake, and they were happily to get rid of you because you weren't in their plans anyway. And Deron Bland, I feel like he's above average because of what he's done in 23, even in 22. 14 interceptions, I believe, in a couple years. Fell off a little bit because of the injury in 24, and he's already hurt this year. Got paid. Love to see more, but I think he's above average player. I don't think he's an elite corner, not in my opinion. And obviously, you got an elite field goal kicker, probably one of the best in the game right now, with Brandon Aubrey. But if you look across the board, the defense is a lot of average to below average, in my opinion. When you look at the offense, it's a little bit better because I think you have a better core, especially like maybe with the offensive line, and then you got your receivers, and then Dak and then Williams has played better. So your offense is a little bit better, maybe average to maybe a little above average. Your defense is average to below average. So as a whole, if you take a measurement of this whole team, you say this team is average, very average. And that's why they have the results that they do. That's why they lose to the Chicago Bears. They're not a great or an elite team. So they have to bring their A game every game. They can't sit there and say, we're the Cowboys. They have to come and bring their A game every game. And the thing is, your coaching has to be better. The Eberflus's and Schottenheimers, not saying Schotten's doing a bad job. I like how he's running the offense. It's a top offense right now in the league. But you got to coach these guys up because your front office got these players. Your front office didn't get rid of these players. Your front office is the one that drafted these players. And if they're not making the plays, either you got to bench those players that Schottenheimer said he was going to make some changes, and you got to see what else you have. Because as I said before, you paid Marquise Bell and Wanye, and they don't see the field. You get what I'm saying? You have a young player, Maris, who's just now getting some burn. So you wonder what the thought pattern is. But for the most part, when you have an average team, average to below average team, you're going to have average to below average results. And that's what we're seeing right now with the Cowboys 1-2. We'll see what happens at Green Bay. I think that's a desperation game. I said on my Twitter that the Cowboys usually bounce back and play when everybody says, oh, they're going to get their butts kicked. They're going to get their butts kicked. That's when the Cowboys seem to rise above and play. And that's why I said, watch out. Dallas might play that. Them injuries might be the deciding factor because you got Booker out, you got BB out, you got Lamb out. Your defense is already playing atrocious. So it could be a really bad game. Cowboys have to play desperate. The coaching has to play like it's desperate. The same way them Bears were playing desperate trying to get that first win against y'all, that's why y'all need to act like against Green Bay, because you know it's going to be mayhem with Michael Parsons coming back, and you know he's going to try to do some things to thumb it up in Jerry's face. So if the Cowboys end up losing this game and they end up 1-3, that's 3 losses in the NFC. That's not going to be good for going forward, especially with the injuries. Then you have 2 AFC games with the Jets, and you have an AFC game against the Jets, and you have another NFC game against the Carolina Panthers. So you got to do it now, because once you get in that hole 1-3 and you don't really have the talent to really climb out of that hole, it could be a long season. So we'll talk about that more tomorrow on Cowboys Uncensored. Can't wait till we get back at it. Gonna talk about a lot of real things. Especially, a lot of people don't want to talk about the Jerry thing, and I get it. But it's one of the reasons why these same things continue to happen, because of the atmosphere and the environment. It creates it. Big Game James. I'm out. Tell me what you think. Peace.